Brought to you by Gibson Pension and Investments, sponsors of both West of Scotland and Glasgow Hawks. Aspen Solutions, the official business partner of Xerox copiers, services and equipment in the UK.
This afternoon we're at Burnbrae for the Scottish Hydro Premier 1 clash between West and Hawks. And this one earlier in the season at Old Anniesland, West won on Hawks' patch. Hawks out for revenge this afternoon. Guy Foggy at Burnbrae, but I'll tell you what, that would stop this being a pretty feisty contest. Ian Noble knocked over there, laying the ball back for Craig Gossman, but a scrappy pass there to Duncan Weir. Weir over the line, but taken out by David Young, the West skipper. Touching down, and it's a scrum 5 in only the first few seconds of the game. Young Murray McConnell putting it in for West. Ball popped up to Michael Simon. Oh, what a simple try. Straight through, very direct, and the Hawks defence will be a wee bit embarrassed about that one. 80 seconds on the clock. Sim converts his own try. 7 points on the board. Exactly the start that West wanted. Yes, the fog is getting thicker. We're out there, it's getting hotter. Duncan Weir out to Ian Noble, picked up there by Jamie Kerr. Getting up to the West 22, Craig Gossman. Out to Matt Whittleston, but solid defence there from West. Oh, Gossman taken out there, a wee bit over enthusiastic by Graham Fiskin. Penalty to Hawks, no problem for Duncan Weir, getting them on the board. Hawks keeping up the pressure, picked up at the back by Rory Mackay, again up to the West 22. Lots happening inside West territory, but scrappy ball there out to midfield. Tidied up by Graham Harkness. Craig Gossman looking for a wee gap, not quite there. And West trying to stop the Hawks' momentum here, with the big men lining up to have a shot. That's Nick Campbell, and finally out to Matt Whittleston, and the big lock crashing over through Richard Dalglish's tackle for the first try for Hawks, taking them into a 1 point lead that Duncan Weir promptly stuck up to 3 with that conversion. Hawks keeping up the pressure. Gossman, we pop-up ball there to Eric Milligan. Support from Matt Whittleston. Rory Mackay thumping on there. West pretty well organised, not committing too many men to the breakdown, leaving the tacklers out wide, and there's one of them has just taken out Duncan Weir, but the ball coming back again on the West side. Gossman, this time up to prop George Hunter. But West getting themselves offsides, the referee David Jack, and no problem right in front of the post. Duncan Weir stretching the Hawks lead to 6 points with a quarter of an hour to go in the first half. A good take there at the back by Graham Fiskin. The West pack getting solid, getting a wee drive on there, nudging into the Hawks 22. Suddenly the ball popping out there to David Young. 20 metres to go, and whap, straight through John O'Wright's tackle. In for a try. Taking the score to West 12, Hawks 13 going into the break.
Scrum Magazine. Subscribe online at scrummagazine.com.
Brought to you by Gibson Pension and Investments, sponsors of both West of Scotland and Glasgow Hawks. Aspen Solutions, the official business partner of Xerox copiers, services and equipment in the UK.
3 minutes into the second half, and Hawks turning the screw straight away. Pick up by Rory Mackay at the back. Pop-up ball there to Graham Harkness. They need quick ball, and my goodness, they don't come much quicker than that. Straight to Grant Strang, and over for the try. That was the start they wanted in the second half. Hawks just stretching that lead to 6 points, and Duncan Weir adding the conversion to take it to 20 points to 12 early in the second half. And that 8-point margin meant that West were still very much in with a shout, but it was Hawks who were piling on the pressure now. 10 minutes into the second half, trying to break out of the 22 there was Gordon Bullock, laying it back on the Hawks side. Chip away there by Murray McConnell, taken by John O'Wright. Switched in field to Andy White, and outside to Kerr Gossman, brother of scrum half Craig, taken out by Gary Dempsey, laying the ball back. And Jamie Kerr getting a wee bit over anxious there, got in for that one, almost pulled up but brought back for the penalty. Difficult one for Duncan Weir, but no problem for the Hawks number 10. And that was a crucial kick. That took it to an 11-point margin, and just the edge that Hawks needed. A great take there by Rory Mackay. Big drive on again by the Hawks forwards. And Eric Milligan threw it in, was at the back, now he's in the middle, and would you believe it, now he's at the front. He's the man under that pile with the ball, scoring the try. And a classic line-out drive score that was too. That'll gladden the heart of coach Peter Wright. And now into the final quarter. Great take there by Rory Mackay. Out into the Hawks midfield. Ian Noble, lovely wee flip ball to Graham Harkness. Goes to ground. Craig Gossman looking for his options. Pops the ball up to prop Gary Strain. Strain taking on the opposition, laying the ball back again, and this time Gossman, whoa, slipping out of that tackle, slipping out of another, and there he goes. Well, what a try. That was as good an individual score as you'll see any day. And that was the one that clinched a bonus point for Hawks. Haha, the scrum half certainly enjoyed that one. Weir swatting the conversion, 35 points to 12. And Hawks now disappearing over the fog-shrouded horizon. A bit of a guddle there. 5 metres from the west line. And Murray McConnell clearance kick charge down. Watch Duncan Weir. He was the man on the ball, in for the try. And just look at him. You kind of get the feeling he enjoyed that one, don't you? Oh, he didn't have. Banged over the conversion. 42 points to 12. Going into the last 10 minutes. But West kept fighting right to the very end. They took play right up into the Hawks danger zone. And just when something was about to happen, John O'Wright got a wee bit over enthusiastic, gave away the penalty. Well, West weren't going to kick that one, were they? They were going to go for the try. Not that it would be much consolation with that scoreline. And Robert Harley having a big dip there. Ball out to Elliot McLaren. He's been on the score sheet a few times the past few weeks, but not today. The ball held up just short of the line. The big men arriving, and one of the biggest of the lot, Robert Harley, who'd started it off. Ball lying at his feet, picked it up, crashed over, and that was the try for West. But very, very small consolation to the home side.
Yeah, I mean, it's important at this time of the season to get victories under your belt. You know, a lot of teams still battling that kind of relegation zone, and you know, and against a tough team like West, it was always going to be a hard game. And you know, we really put the work in this week after missing last week's game with the weather. And I think physically we won the battle, and I think from a rugby point of view we won that battle as well, and played some good stuff at times and scored some good tries.
So Hawks get revenge in the Glasgow Derby. Keeps them well up there in the table. West not in too much trouble in the bottom half of the table, but there's still a long way to go. Although Hawks are putting down a marker for the rest of the season. This is Ron Evans for Scottish Rugby Television at Burnbrae.
Brought to you by Gibson Pension and Investments, sponsors of both West of Scotland and Glasgow Hawks. Aspen Solutions, the official business partner of Xerox copiers, services and equipment in the UK.